Hi, I'm Mike Reed, and this is your operational update for July 30th. Starting up in Branch 8. So, as mentioned multiple times, Tire Mountain, we still have resources on there, and we're continuing to secure that line, especially with the upcoming hot and dry weather. For the ones that we do have line around, we're really ensuring that before that gets here, is that our lines are made as strong as possible to prevent any opportunity for this to come out of there. McKinley Creek also, the slop that we had to the south, we've got line around that. We've really been working it hard. It's looking really good. We still have a crew and an engine on here, and they're continuing to reinforce those lines to ensure that it stays in place. Moving on to the chalk fire. So Kilo, like I mentioned yesterday, did complete their firing. And we got this kind of pretty locked in here. It's looking really good. They were very successful. We took that firing operation really slow, just to ensure that we didn't have any issues. And what they're doing now is just with the personnel that are up there, they're continuing to mop up on that line, patrol that line, and ensure that what we did get done, it stays in place. We're hoping by tomorrow with Alpha, that we'll start. This line is all prepped here, and we're hoping that we'll start with some firing on that. We expect that to take a few days to get out here and turn the corner into Tango. Tango is still prepping. We're all prepped down here, and they're continuing to prep around, tying it back into Kilo. Once Alpha gets done, it really locks in the south end of this fire, which is the greatest threat to West Fir and Oakridge. So we're feeling really good up there. Moving down into Branch 12, I'll start out here in the wilderness. So if you might notice, the 217 fire is black. So we're showing containment, 100% containment on the 217 fire. We still have 6 smoke jumpers on there who are continuing to cold trail or check around the edge of the fire to make sure there's no heat sources that could possibly come out of there. So they've done great work in there. We expect them to be there for at least a couple more days. 208 fire is unstaffed at this time, but we do surveil it from air and some other options that we have to ensure that there's no significant growth on that fire. And it's really been holding in place. Like I mentioned before, it's kind of pushed up into some rock outcroppings and some landslides and chutes, and it really doesn't have a lot of opportunity to come out of there. So we're looking good over there. Moving on to Moss Mountain. Moss Mountain has not moved a lot. It doesn't really have good alignment with the wind, and so it's really not getting the full effects of the wind on there, and it's not moving so much. Whiskey has built line out from the division break, and they're continuing to bring it down here towards the break with Sierra. Sierra is also pushing some line towards the division break as well, and continuing to scout out. Do realize that even though we show this perimeter here, we're also looking at some other options that we can kind of shrink that box up and always continuing to reevaluate, but just making sure we're utilizing something that will have high success. Papa completed their firing operation in the southwest corner, and we really got that corner locked in pretty well. They are also mopping up and continuing to patrol and to hold what we got. They did get a few spots out of that burn operation, but they jumped on them really quickly with the personnel that they had there, and they were able to ensure that they were all captured and wouldn't spread any further. We do expect that they will continue around this side, but we are looking at some other options that we can maybe come in tighter. This is the road system. So some of this road we are utilizing, but most of the other line sits kind of much tighter than what this is showing. So one other thing is, so we did create a contingency group. So it's just it's a small number of personnel, and they're looking down on this lower end on the border with the Sierra Pacific land down there. And what they're looking for is contingency lines or secondary lines that, should we be unsuccessful up here, is we have another location to drop back to and still have good probability of success in holding it. And then we also did, so I know I mentioned before that, resources have been very hard to, personnel have been very hard to come by. And there's been a lot of challenges with getting some of the right tools for the right needs. So we also did create a firing group. So the firing group is different personnel, some crews, and some engines that we'll be able to shift around the fire on all these different firing operations to really pull those jobs off with the highest probability of success. So that's today, July 30th.